What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We've got a few NASCAR stories to discuss in this episode. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. So the first thing we are going to talk about is the ratings for Fox. According to Adam Stern, he said that given the challenges, Fox Sports says they are really pleased that their first half viewership ended down only 1%. Now, people are like, well, that's bad, right? Well, in my opinion, that isn't really all that bad of news. Because you have to understand, one, most of the races that Fox aired were rain delayed, pushed to Monday, or they were just delayed a couple hours because of lightning storms and all that stuff that were happening in races. That's what pushed the ratings down this year. Because if you look at the races that didn't have rain delay problems, the ratings were up for those races. And had not been for that rain delay for Daytona 500 pushed to Monday, I guarantee the ratings would be up like 2 or 3 or even possibly 4 or 5% this year. We probably almost see double-digit increase in TV ratings because of that. That's it. To be honest, since the fact that it's only 1% down, I'm very satisfied about that. On to the next story. Clint Bowyer is wanting to return to Stewart-Haas Racing in 2021. Now, he did come out in an interview. I don't remember who he talked to, but he was doing it as like his media week with someone, and he stated that he wants to return to SHR, but they have not been in talks with Tony Stewart, Gene Haas, or any of his partners, have really not been in talks and conversation about returning to SHR in 2021. Let me just say this. There's very unlikely that Clint Bowyer is probably going to be returning in 2021. I know that with the pandemic and stuff, there's more stuff to worry about in the NASCAR world. Of course, there's still don't have the 2021 schedule out at this point, and the rest of the 2020 schedule, the playoff schedule, has not been released up to this point. I just do not feel very confident Clint Bowyer is going to be returning. The fact that contract talks have not begun for that team is starting to worry me, because Eric Jones, they're having talks right now. I'm not sure about Brad Keselowski if they're having talks Team Penske yet. There's rumors that they might be starting to talk. I don't know if that is confirmed yet or not. But the fact that Clint Bowyer, Tony Stewart, they might not want Clint Bowyer. You look at what Clint Bowyer's done it with SHR. He's only won 2 races with the organization. He's been very disappointing. A lot of people thought Clint Bowyer going to SHR in 2017, he was going to be like a bright sun for this organization, help bring this organization back to life. Well, Kevin Harvick's brought it to life, but the whole organization back to life. And really, Clint Bowyer hasn't done much. He missed the playoffs in 2017. He barely made it to the playoffs in 2019. So I don't feel really confident that Clint Bowyer is going to be returning to SHR in 2021. I still feel very likely there are 2 candidates who could take that 14 ride. I'm looking at Chase Briscoe and Kyle Larson as the 2 candidates. Most likely, I still think it's going to be Kyle Larson taking over the 14, because there's been talks that Tony Stewart would like to hire Kyle Larson. The fact that Clint Bowyer has not had conversations with Tony Stewart, and the fact that he's not done much at this organization, I think it's really going to be the contributing factor. Now, Clint Bowyer does start performing here in the second half, like have a performance like he had at Darlington before he had his issues at the end of the race, or have performance like he won at Martinsville or won at Michigan, has really good performances. He's been, honestly, I think, one of the second or third best driver. He's not been the best driver. Kevin Harvick and Eric Almirola this year especially have been better than Kevin Harvick. And at times it seems like Cole Custer has been better than Clint Bowyer. Clint Bowyer has admitted, and he didn't really seem confident in his interview like we've seen in past interviews. Most interviews, Clint Bowyer is very confident. You look at this also, I still think he is going up to the TV booth next year. Fox is kind of stale right now. I like Mike Joy. I think he's doing a great job as a Fox commentator still. Jeff Gordon he's kind of boring. I like Jeff at first when he's a broadcaster, but he's really not done much to make the broadcast better, in my honest opinion. If Clint Bowyer goes up there, Fox is going to be doing wonders right now, because Larry McReynolds, I don't know if he wants to go over. I wish Larry McReynolds was kind of with those 3, because I think Larry McReynolds is a good hype man and a good person for the booth as well. Put Clint Bowyer up there in the booth, I think that's a good idea. I just think Clint Bowyer, the fact that they may not want him, and I think with the fact that he's done more broadcasting with Fox and his Fox opportunities this year, I think Clint Bowyer is going to be leaving at the end of this year full-time. I still think this is going to be his final full-time year in the NASCAR Cup Series. I do not see Clint Bowyer returning to SHR in 2021. On to the next story. We're going to be talking about the starting lineup procedures. Scott Miller has told SiriusXM that if there isn't any qualifying by the playoffs, then the sanctioning body may alter how the starting lineups are set. So currently at the moment, how they do it is like a draw for the 1st to 12th place, 13th through 24th, 25th through 36th, and then 37th through 40th, which are the non-charter drivers. They go by the top 1,200 points, 13th to 24th, then 25th through 36th, and then so on and so forth. So what I think they're looking possibly at, if qualifying and practice do not come back, which is very unlikely we're going to be seeing practice or qualifying probably coming back for the rest of 2020. I think that's probably going thrown out the window, unfortunately. I will do, in my opinion, want to see practice or qualifying for Daytona Road Course. The fact that we're not going to be seeing that is very disappointing because none of those guys have really any experience. Now, granted, those guys do have ran there in the past. Now, they are bringing rain tires, by the way, for the Daytona Road Course. That I'm really excited about, especially if it rains. Please rain Daytona Road Course. But if they cannot go to the starting line procedures, if they wanted to twist, if they're going to switch it up, I think what they're going to do is they're going to have 1st through 16th in the playoffs. I think that's how they're going to do it. They're going to draw those guys first, and then they're going to draw 17 through 26, 27 through 36, and then they'll probably draw the final 4. That's, I think, how they're going to end up drawing for the races. I think that's how they will draw what the starting lineups are going to be. I think that's how it's going to be. I don't see them doing something stupid, like having the non-playoff drivers. I think the playoff drivers will be the first 16 that will end up qualifying. I think that's how the starting lineups are going to end up being proceeded for the rest of the season once we get up to the playoffs, because I do not feel very confident that we are going to be seeing qualifying or practice coming back for the rest of the year. Maybe for Daytona, we may see it. I don't know. We'll have to see. Now on to the next story. NASCAR is planning on to talk to Quint Houff about his decision to dive down from the second lane at Texas Motor Speedway. So a little bit of a backstory, as I just mentioned there. Quint Houff made a really one of the worst decisions I've ever seen a driver make. Similar to what J.J. Yeley did in 2006 at Charlotte, if you remember that. He basically decided to dive down pit road, and he unfortunately took Christopher Bell out of a decent run and Matt DiBenedetto out of a top 5 possible run. And not only that, he affected the outcome of this race because he trapped Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, and Eric Almirola. They trapped all those guys a lap down. And this was the reason Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick ended up finishing 1st and 2nd in the race. Granted, those guys won the race. But Brad Keselowski brought up a point saying that if drivers are struggling a lot more, that we should demote them to the lower series, which, let me just say this for the record. Quint Houff, do I think he should be in the Cup Series? Honestly, I don't know. I really am hesitant because, again, I think he's not done enough. I really think he doesn't deserve to be in there, in my honest opinion. Quint Houff should not be in the Cup Series. Not because of the fact he's a crappy driver. I think he's possibly a solid driver. I just think that he doesn't have enough experience being in the Cup Series. I think there should be a limit of how many races, set races you've ran in the lower series, the Truck Series, and Xfinity Series, and even the ARCA Series in those lower series. You should have to have a certain amount of experience to be in the Cup Series. There's no reason a guy that has 10 or 15 starts altogether in Truck Series and Xfinity Series should be racing in the Cup Series, in my honest opinion. The reason that they added Quint Houff was a financial reason. I think there's a chance in the future, though, as Brad Keselowski pointed out, that we could see drivers from the upper series, if they're struggling a lot and making poor decisions and big mistakes like this one, if they continuously make mistakes like this, that they might get demoted to the lower series and they have to graduate their way back up. I think drivers should have to graduate. IndyCar has a pretty good system. F1 has a system similar to this. Right now, it's not possible, but with the next-gen car, if it becomes cost-saving, I think teams will be looking for the best drivers and not going for drivers that are, one, cheaper, and two, they have financial backing. I'd rather see talent be a factor for drivers coming to series, in my opinion, than seeing drivers who are just there for a paycheck and have money backing them up. I don't hate Quint Houff. I thought it was a bad decision. I do appreciate, though, that he did come on there and apologize for the incident. Man, I am happy that you at least are aware that you made him a big mistake. You did blame the spotter mirror, I think, but it is what it is. And Quint Houff, I still wish Quint Houff the best of luck, but it was a very bad mistake. And now we get into the final story, is the Texas TV ratings. They came out in Sunday's race, average a 1.73 rating and a 2.73 million viewers. Now, this is the lowest for a race at Texas since the 1997 race. since 2001, actually. However, this is only the second time that this race has ended up being on cable. Yeah, yes, the ratings being... Honestly, you can't really be mad about those ratings since the fact they were on cable. Nearly 3 million people watching on NBCSN. Honestly, the race was really, really long. That's why the ratings maybe have not been up. Granted, maybe we could see races get up in the 3 million viewer range, but you have to understand a lot of people are getting rid of cable up to this point. So I'm not surprised that those Texas TV ratings are down as far as they are. So honestly, I'm not mad about those ratings, and hopefully we may see some of those ratings in the cable side eventually get up to 3 to 4 million viewers, and at least the ratings weren't like down to like 1.5 million or 7 or like under 2 million. At least the ratings were nearly at the 3 million mark. I'm really happy for that. And yes, the ratings were low, but it's only the second time it's ever been on NBC as said. So keep that in mind. So anyway, that is all the NASCAR news I have for today on this episode. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links description below for that. And comment your thoughts on today's video. What do you think about Clint Bowyer maybe possibly returning to SHR? Let me know in the comments below. And what do you think about those ratings altogether for NASCAR on Fox? Let me know in the comments below. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.